So in the history of Williams College, if you look back to the era in the 1820s, you'll see that the college itself was faltering. They were down to just 2 professors. One had his foot in the grave. The other one, they said, should have had his foot in the grave. The college was not doing well at all. And so the people wanted to see it succeed and make it in the world. Called upon Edward Dorr Griffin, who was in himself a fairly well-known, at least in New England circles, preacher and evangelist of his day. And they asked him if he could rescue Williams College and bring it back to life. And he said yes, he would be delighted to do that, but they really had to give him a free hand, and that it would be done to the glory of God and to the honor of the gospel, and not just for the sake of Williams College. So they were so desperate because they were sure the college was going to fold that they went ahead and hired him and said, yes, do that. So, being the fantastic preacher that he was, he set up all kinds of special chapel services. He evangelized the campus itself and out even into the community. All of Williamstown actually experienced a revival during the 1820s, during the close of the Second Great Awakening, such that by the time 1830 came, much of Williamstown was Christian around it. The campus was Christian. He had rescued it from the brink of collapse. He instituted things like mandatory chapels. He would debate with the students and prove various theological points. He would challenge them to things, and in doing so, led many of them to faith. So
how long did that last?
That lasted for quite a while. As you go through the 1830s and up into the Civil War era, the campus remained a very vibrant Christian college. It was solidly Christian, a real beacon of light in that corner of Massachusetts. But unfortunately, material success was one of the things that was their downfall. By the time you reach the end of the 19th century, they were becoming wealthier and wealthier, with their alumni coming back first as Christians and donating heavily to the work of the college, but then eventually just donating, for the sake of the college. And it became a beautiful college physically, but the light of the gospel got dimmer and dimmer with each passing decade. By 1906, when they had the centenary anniversary celebration of the Haystack Prayer Meeting that had occurred in August of 1806, at that point there, it wasn't really what you would call a Christian college. It was a secular college that still had a lot of Christians at it, and perhaps some Christian professors and so on. But during the 20th century, it completely lost its way, went completely liberal, and now, out of the 2,500 students, and overall, the entire campus community, including everybody online, would be about 4,000 people. You probably would be hard-pressed to even find 50 Christians. And the sad truth now is that people who walk by the monument don't even know what it is. They don't know what missions are. They've never heard the gospel. Many of them have never even really cracked open the Bible. It's astounding how far it has fallen away from what it was 180 years ago.
And you even said that maybe in the 80s that it had grown hostile and they were ashamed of it, and weeds had grown up around it. And
that's right. Yeah, by 1980, weeds had grown up around the monument. They were ashamed of it, embarrassed about it, really didn't want visitors there, and under pressure from a lot of Christian organizations, the weeds were mowed down, and they built, at that time, a little park around it, some park benches, some signs, and so forth, and now they keep it open and available for people to visit. Although a new prevailing attitude in Massachusetts in general amongst the liberal community is that we should be ashamed of that statue, of that obelisk, and that it should be torn down because it was wrong for us as imperialists to impose our religion on an unsuspecting people. Very sad to have that attitude.
Well, thank you for sharing a few words.
You're welcome.